Welcome back, podcast listeners. This is the We Know Ball podcast. Today we are teaming up with Underdog Fantasy to bring you guys an amazing deal. If you go ahead and sign up using their mobile app or their website and you use code WKB when you sign up, they will give you a deposit match of up to $100. That is an amazing deal. So take advantage of it while you can. Sign up, use code WKB, and get on to some daily fantasy. Welcome back, everybody, to the 8th episode, right? I'm pretty sure 8th episode.
Yeah.
The We Know Ball podcast. Today, we have a crazy special guest, Brandon, aka Brawadis. Go ahead, introduce yourself, man. Tell us how you became a Suns fan.
Cool. So I'm Brandon, aka Brawadis. I make YouTube videos. I'm 26 years old, and I'm a huge Suns fan. First of all, before I get into how I became a Suns fan, I just want to say thank you to all three of you guys, Aryan, Brandon, and Isaac, for you guys always support me, and I appreciate that. So I wanted to hop on this podcast and just try to get this thing popping. It's gonna end up being the #1 Suns podcast in the world. So
Yes,
this
sir.
Yeah. So how I became a Suns fan, being in San Diego, obviously everyone around me is Laker fans. Everyone, pretty much almost everyone in California is a Lakers fan. So when this was 2005, 2006. So I was 10 years old and I just started getting into basketball. Obviously, all my Suns fans out there know in 2006, the Suns they were at the top. That was when we had Steve Nash, Amari, Sean Marion, 7 seconds or less era. So me being like a 10-year-old kid, I was just like, dude, I want to, the Suns they're the most fun team to watch. They play so fast and, they're so good. So I guess you could say I was a 10-year-old that hopped on the bandwagon. But yeah, I never had a favorite team growing up. So when I started getting into basketball, the Suns were at the top. And I guess you could say it was a huge tease because once I started getting into basketball, we were kind of bad for like the next decade, but I stuck with it. And now here we are. We're the best team in the league right now. So yeah, that's how I became a Suns fan, honestly.
Awesome. You love to hear it. You love to hear it. So I'm just pulling up the box score on my phone here. Let's talk about this game. The Suns today beat the Los Angeles Lakers by a score by a score of 140 to 111. Just your regular ass whooping.
Yes.
I mean, we're all used to it at this point, right? Like it happens every time. The Suns started off very fast. They scored 48 points in the first quarter. I mean, really, it was the same story as every other Suns versus Lakers game. And I know, Brawadis, you have a lot of thoughts on the Los Angeles Lakers living in California, as you said.
I do not like the Lakers.
So why don't you kind of just tell us your initial reaction, just your initial thoughts to that game?
So shit, I don't know about you guys, but when the Suns beat the Lakers, it feels better than beating any other team in the league. I don't care. I do not care. I don't know if it has to do with, when Kobe was on the squad and we had Nash and they would always go back and forth. Unfortunately, the Lakers would always get the upper hand back then. So maybe it comes from that, or it just comes from being in California. All my friends, all my family, I'm surrounded by a bunch of Laker fans. So there's just continuous trash talking, I can't get away from it, from all these Laker fans. So when the Suns do beat the Lakers, it just, bro, I love it. As for today's game, I mean, like you said, just a typical Phoenix Suns ass whooping on the Lakers. They haven't beat us in, what is it now, 6-7 tries? I mean, if you're
There's 6.
I saw a tweet. It said the Lakers are 0-6 against the Suns ever since the LeBron post up picture.
Oh dude, that post up with the Andre Drummond scene and everything, bro, that ruined the Lakers. Ever since then, they've never been the same. Since that whole whatever happened. So yeah, dude, I loved it. The Suns put on, dude, they put the Lakers on the ground and just stomped on them all game long. So I don't know. I mean, if the Lakers end up making the playoffs, we all know it's going to be an 8-1 matchup with the Suns. So if this is any indication, and I know it's just regular season, but we've been doing this to the Lakers now for, like you said, 6 games straight. So they don't want any part of us in the playoffs. And yeah, I mean, dude, our whole team contributed pretty much. So The Lakers just don't have an answer for the Suns. They're not good enough. Whether it's regular season, playoffs, even bro, we went 2-0 against them in the preseason too. Like they couldn't even beat us in the preseason, bro. Not to bring that up, but like, come on, bro. They couldn't sneak one win on us in the preseason.
We had Jalen Smith playing 30 minutes a night.
Come on, bro. Like,
Hey,
dude,
respect Jalen Smith.
I'm
Jalen Smith
not
is
hating.
good.
I'm just saying.
No, you're right. The early theme in this game was turnovers, specifically from the Lakers. I think they had like 9 in the first quarter.
Yeah, they
or
did.
something crazy like that. Dude, they're so bad.
no, it's not. It's like when you're watching today the Suns and Lakers game. It was like I was at an LA Fitness playing pickup ball, and some team was just very, very stacked, and they were going up against a bunch of like 12-year-old kids that like wanted to just finally get on the court and was like, okay, we finally got on. Like, dude, that was not 2 NBA teams on the court. The Suns are so much better than the Lakers this season. It's just not. They're not in the same. There's like 10 tiers that separate the Suns and the Lakers this year, and it's not. Whether it's the turnovers, dude, the defense, the Lakers defense is, dude, forget giving up the 140 points. That's cool to look at like on the box score. But if you actually watch the game, how many open looks did the Suns have, bro? Like, it was like a transition. Bro, LeBron, like, and I'm not gonna lie, I like LeBron. I don't like the Lakers, but I like LeBron. Dude, he wasn't getting back on defense. Like, bro, you wouldn't see him in the screen half the time, bro. So like, yeah, the Lakers they're very bad. Don't get me wrong, like that's music to my ears. But like they're actually really bad. And I don't know if they end up, being in the play-in and they're gonna have to beat New Orleans first and then go on to forget it. If they have to see the Clippers in that second game, they're not making it. If they see the Timberwolves after they beat New Orleans, maybe. But my point is it's not even a lock for them to make the playoffs right now, which is crazy. They're bad.
I don't even think they beat the Pelicans, to be honest.
Honestly, to be honest, for starters, they would have to be at home to even have a chance. They'd have to be in LA for that game to even have a chance to beat the Pelicans, bro.
Current standings, it would be a home game for the Lakers.
Yeah, but you never know, dude. The Lakers are falling like no tomorrow.
They're still,
but yeah, the Pelicans are only a game and a half back of the Lakers right now. So you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, shit. I'd rather see the Lakers in the playoffs than I would the Pelicans, Clippers, or Timberwolves if I'm the Suns, bro.
Yeah, easily.
So truth is,
sorry. I just want to make this clear, and I want the Lakers healthy. I want the Lakers healthy in the first round. That's who I want the Suns to see.
Yeah, I know you guys saw that AD quote.
Bro, AD's a like I don't know if we're getting into like my most hated Laker players. I know I mentioned I like LeBron. I really do. And Westbrook, I really don't care for, I don't care. But AD, bro, I actually can't. No, I can't. How are you going to go out there before the game starts talking about, oh, well, they're lucky I was hurt, blah, blah, blah. And then you're hurt still with a different injury. Like, bro, I can't stand Street Clothes. Like, sorry, but that's his name. I really can't stand him, bro. I don't like AD at all. Let's go back to that first round series of last year. He got cooked by Ayton in game 1. Like everyone wants to talk about because AD did go off in game 2. I'm not gonna lie. So everyone wants to go, oh, AD was killing the Suns that series. So they just forget about game 1 where Ayton insanely outplayed him the whole game, bro. Like, AD, I don't like AD at all.
If I'm not mistaken, Ayton had a good game 2. It was like game 3 where he just had a little off game.
Yeah, and AD just went crazy game 2.
We were still winning in game 3 when AD got hurt.
Bro, let's be real. I don't even want to get into the injury stuff because it pisses me off, but the Suns were going to win that series regardless. It was just like, it was destined. Last year was the Suns' destined year. Whatever happened in the finals, that was bad, but just that whole playoff run just seemed magical. Like we weren't gonna lose in the first round last year, no matter who we played.
Yeah, with the magical is the perfect word, I think, to describe that playoff run because you had the perfect first round matchup in the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah,
against LeBron James. You have, Devin Booker's 47-point game. You have his 40-point triple-double. You have the value against the Clipper. There were so many iconic moments. Like,
yeah, you had the sweep of the MVP. Like, dude, it was just I say this all the time. Like, I mean, now it's kind of dumb to say last season's run was a fluke because you're here 70 games later and the Suns are the 1 seed in the NBA. So you can't even really say last season was a fluke. But even before the season started, before we, got 54 wins in 60 whatever games, I would tell people, bro, so you're saying the Suns playoff run was a fluke? What about the whole season when we were right behind Utah for the 1 seed? Like, we're just gonna ignore all those 70 games from last, like, whatever, bro. The only people that say it was a fluke are just people that they just follow what the media says. They don't watch basketball. They're on ESPN or the Bleacher Report app, and they just go, they follow what people say. But
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting a little off topic. So
No, it's all right. So kind of get back to the game a little bit. That theme that I mentioned of the first quarter was, I mean, really, it was just the whole game. Honestly, I mean, we were up. How much were we up at half? Like 20 something points. Like it's
It
just
was,
the
it was
Lakers.
79 to
56, right?
40.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say 46.
Dude, yeah, like it was ridiculous. The Lakers couldn't make a pass if they wanted to. Like I don't even know that they want to at this point because there's no other way the team could be this fucking bad.
No.
Like I don't know. I just don't know what else to say about them, man. They don't care. They don't give effort. They just suck.
Yeah,
And
the
that's why
effort.
it looks so easy out there. I mean,
One thing I want to talk about is I don't take it upon myself to watch Lakers games because they're so boring. And it kind of made the last like 6 minutes of this game a little boring. And like I've never felt that way about a Suns game. But Russell Westbrook is way worse than I thought the media was making him.
Dude, what happened? Remember, I'd say, I mean, even last year, but especially like 2 or 3 years ago, Westbrook was like, he's like a mid-range god. Like him in the mid-range was, he's money.
yeah.
I understand losing your athleticism, as you get older. But bro, what the hell? He's like airballing and like hitting the side of the backboard, and like that just it does not. It has to be mental. Like I don't know, bro. That's just it's actually crazy how bad Westbrook is. And it's parts of his game that like he excelled at like in previous years. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's
I feel
crazy.
like it's added pressure playing in LA, playing with
Yeah.
LeBron.
It's gotta be. I mean, look at Kuzma.
Yeah,
He's
right.
hooping.
Right.
Kuzma's hooping.
Right. Ingram, Lonzo, like I mean Ingram was hooping regardless, but
You do have to be a special player to play in cities like LA.
Yeah, like to be able to perform, you got to really be like locked up. Like you can't let anything get in there.
yeah.
You just look at Odell with the Rams.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's not really much to talk about from this game because all we'd be talking about is the Lakers turning it over and the Suns being a really good team. So let's kind of shift gears. And do you guys want to talk about like, is there a player specifically that you wanted to call out from this game today? And let's start with the special guest.
Good or bad?
Good.
Okay.
For sure.
Oh, good.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so I mean, Book dropped another 30. At this point, I don't know if you could even call out a Booker good game because he performs every fucking game. I guess if there's one thing you could say about Book's game where maybe the national media might be surprised, but we wouldn't because we've seen Book over the years, but it's 10 assists. We know he could play make, we know he could pass the ball, but everyone seems to be surprised when he throws an alley-oop, like, wait, what? Booker passes? He doesn't just shoot? Like, yeah, bro, he's been doing this. But anyways, yeah, 30 points and 10 assists from the 2 guard spot is obviously impressive. Ayton, dude, Ayton has a factor that I like that you can't teach where I know people like to call it national TV Ayton, but it's not just national TV. It's whenever he's going up against a big name, whether it's obviously LeBron tonight. Embiid, I know he started shaking his career, but recently he likes going up against Embiid, Giannis, Jokic. Dude, he's always killing Jokic. Ayton has something that you can't teach where he performs when the pressure's high. Like, and that's something that, like we were saying about players who can play in LA and can't. That's another thing where you either have it or you don't. Some people shy away from the pressure, some people don't. And I guess Ayton likes the pressure. You guys saw him in the playoffs. So another game today where he's facing off against LeBron, who actually he did start at center today. Mm-hmm. Ayton showed out. I was also impressed with dude, Mikal. late in the game, I was like, I'm looking at the score and I'm like, bro, the Suns are killing the Lakers. But I don't really remember anybody really going off aside from Book and Aiden. I'm like, what did Mikhail have? Like 6 points, 8 points? And I checked the box score, he had 18. Like Mikhail's always just a quiet, efficient, like 16 to 20 points. Like you don't even notice. But I mean, everyone, I was pretty impressed with everyone. Bismack, you can never look at the stats with him. He's just all energy. Every time he comes in the game, he's always changing the game. JaVale, obviously, best backup big in the league. Cameron Payne with another double-digit assist game. Like the Suns are just, I don't know if you could really call out anything bad about tonight, but definitely there was a lot of good too.
For sure. I do want to uh, say a Devin Booker stat. This is from Kellen Olson on Twitter. Devin Booker, in his first 6 games without Chris Paul this season, it's wild that he's only played 6 games without Chris Paul, but he is averaging 26.7 points, near 4.7 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 turnovers, almost 3 steals a game, shooting almost 50%, 40% from 3, and 89% from the free throw line.
Yeah, but Mitchell's better, right?
Devin Booker is the best. Devin Booker is 3 things right now. He is 1, the best shooting guard in the NBA.
Easy.
He is 2, a top 10 player in the NBA.
True.
Yes.
And 3, he is a superstar.
Dude, see those 3 things. If I were to walk around right now in San Diego, let's say I go into my barber shop or I go into the gym and I say those 3 things, the people here are so uneducated about the Suns that they would just start laughing like, bro, you're so biased, you're so delusional. But what they don't realize is that all 3 of those things are, I mean, okay, you can't call it facts, but it's the closest thing to facts as it could get. Like, bro, you can't name a better shooting guard than Book. I don't want people to name certain players who have had hot 10-game stretches. I'm not trying to throw shade at DeRozan, but he has not been better than Book all year. I hate when people say Harden. No, they're, or even Kyrie, if they count him as a shooting guard, bro, he's played. How many games has he played? Bro, availability is the best ability somebody could have. So like, Book is the best 2 guard in the league. And as for what else he said, top 10 player, yeah, I mean, aside from obviously the Giannis, KD, LeBron, Steph, Kawhi when he's healthy, whatever. There's that separate tier, Jokic, Embiid. There's that tier of like the top 5 and 6. But then when you drop right below, out of like, bro, honestly, I'm putting Book over Luka this year, which I would not have done last year. But Book has been better than Luka. I'm putting in the tier of like Luka, Tatum, John Morant, Jimmy Butler, Paul George when he's healthy. People are putting Book, Donovan Mitchell. People would put Book at the bottom of that list, but that's just stupid. Like that Book is better than all those guys. I'd put him at like the 8th or 9th best player in the league this year for sure.
I have a fun game we can play after we hear from Arian and Brandon a little bit about Devin Booker. But why don't we hear from Arian really quick? Who's a player you wanted to call out today?
I really like, obviously, other than Ayton and Booker, Aaron Holiday played amazing today. Obviously on the stat sheet, it's not too much. He had 12, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. But
hey,
that's good. That's good.
That's a good stat sheet.
Yeah, that's
pretty good. He was hustling, like his hustle was crazy the whole game. He was in the passing lanes. He was like literally full court pressing sometimes. He was getting like a bunch of rebounds. I like how he played a lot. And to say we can for cash considerations.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I think I'm sorry, Brandon, to
no, you're good. Go ahead.
off, but I did say this before about Aaron Holiday. I think I tweeted it. If we manage to keep him, which I really probably we should, right? Obviously. If we keep him, I really do think he can become like Drew Holiday light. Like I really like imagining like a future Suns team like post Chris Paul with Cam Payne as the starter and Aaron Holiday backing him up. That does not sound so bad to me.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad. No, I mean, shit, let's be real. If we paid Shamit, then we better pay Aaron Holiday. But I don't know about, 40, 50 mil, but if case in point is if we paid Shamit, then you got to pay Holiday.
What do we think Landry Shamit's stat line was today? Specifically his points and shooting percentages. So I want you guys to guess.
Okay, phone off, not looking, just based on from what I watched. I know I saw one of his shots drop, and I know he played some garbage time that I wasn't too interested in watching. So this is going to be a complete guess, but I'd say 5 points and shot 35%. I'm not proud to say it, but yeah,
You're very close on the total, but your percent is too low.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna guess because I memorized it. So
Oh, you know
I'm
it.
I love Shamit. So
I did.
Yeah.
Bro, I was such a when we first traded for Shaman, I was hyped. I was like,
Me
bro,
too.
I was like, why? How is this guy on his fourth team? Like I understand being a throw-in in a trade because in my head, a valuable asset that everybody wants, Landry Shaman. But then now, like 68 games in, and I'm not saying I'm not a believer because he just had two back-to-back really good games, but just the consistency is not there. That's what drives me crazy. I don't know, bro. But yeah, I was a huge Shamit guy. And I know there's someone else in the Suns Twitter community that's also a huge Shamit guy. His name is Max. He loves Shamit. He loves Shamit. So like I want to be on that level, which I was. It's just hard after everything we've watched. But go ahead, Aryan, if you want to guess the stat line, if you don't have it memorized.
No, I don't have it memorized. I would say maybe like 8 points, maybe, and like 45%.
All right, Shamit ended today. He had 6 points.
Okay.
He shot 2 of 3, actually.
he
So
didn't.
very
I feel like
efficient.
he got a lot more than that. I didn't
No,
memorize.
he only
percentage.
took 3 shots.
See, here's the thing though, like yeah, that's cool. He shot 66%. Obviously going 2 for 3, you don't hurt the team. But like there has to be a bigger role for Shamit. It's put obviously with the money we paid him, yeah, but put the money to the side. I just feel like he has a big role on this team and it just hasn't played out. Especially now that we traded for Aaron Holiday. I mean, I don't know if that was more so of like, oh, we don't trust Elfrid Payton,
Probably Peyton.
or yeah,
Yeah,
that is
I hope
obviously
so.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Oh, we don't trust Elfrid Payton, but also was it maybe like, okay, if Shaman keeps playing like this, he's not really playable in the playoffs. So let's take a chance on Aaron Holiday. Like, I don't know because I don't know, but you want to see Shaman do good because those 2 games last week or earlier this week, dude, that was beautiful to watch, bro.
Yeah.
So, Brawadis, I have a question.
Yeah.
You mentioned before the show about Torrey Craig maybe not getting playoff minutes.
Yeah.
If you had to choose between Torrey Craig and Landry Shamet to get playoff minutes, who would you choose?
Bro, that's so tough because their games are so different.
You taking scoring or
Um,
defense?
That's the
I mean,
thing.
is it really
So
scoring? They score about the same.
that's the thing. So obviously we've seen Torrey Craig hasn't been hitting the 3 ball ever since he came to Phoenix. Whereas Shamit, despite what the percentages say, we know the defense has to at least respect his 3 ball. You know what I mean? He at least stretches the floor. So it's kind of like, are you taking the 3-point shooting and opening the lanes up for obviously players like Bridges, Cam Johnson to cut in? Or are you taking Torrey Craig's his hustle hasn't changed. His hustle is obviously he's all over the place. Uh I want to say Craig, but when you factor in that we have Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and all these, wings / fours, I think you gotta throw Shamit in there because I don't know.
I like that answer. I like that answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you gotta throw Shamit in there playoff time for sure, especially because he does have experience. I mean, Craig does too, being on Denver and Phoenix. So, but Shamit does have experience just because he's young. I know he just turned 25 today, but he has experience playing on good teams in the past. So I wouldn't be too worried throwing him out there in playoff time. He also doesn't. I wouldn't say he hurts the team. Yeah, he might miss shots, but there's a difference with missing like good looks and then hurting the team. I don't think either of them hurt the team, but yeah, they both have high IQ, so there's that to an extent.
For sure. Brandon, did you give us your
Player of the game? I did
Yeah.
not.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought my name, guys. My name is
Brandon.
Brandon. Well, my
Oh,
username
no.
is Pilates. So in my head, I'm like, I think I named like the whole team. But no, go ahead, Brandon.
I want to touch on the consistency Mikel's been on, not just this game, but I would say this last like stretch of, especially since CP's been out,
Mhm.
he's definitely been taking a leap scoring wise while still maintaining his defensive presence, which for some players is really hard to do, is to stay consistent on both sides. So I want to touch on that just because it's great to see that leap. It's going to help us, especially come playoff time, if he can give us 15 to 18 a night.
Yeah, the main thing I like with Mikal Bridges is like last year, he didn't have as much confidence shooting the ball or like at least taking it to the mid range, which like, he does that all the time this year, which is amazing because he's literally automatic from mid range.
I love it. He has a ball in front of his head, pushed out.
Yeah.
It's a little touch shot, bro. It's a
With
layup.
his legs spread apart. Yeah.
Legs spread apart, arms all the way extended.
Yep.
It's great. You love to see it.
Bro, I love Mikhail. The thing that you, Brandon, you said about how he gives such great effort on defense, but then could also give like 15 to 18 a night. Obviously, you have guys like I'm trying to name just off the top of my head. You have like for example Covington, good defense, but he's not going to come down and score like that. I, now on the flip side, you have guys like Kawhi or Jimmy Butler, where there's only select few that could play elite defense and then also come down and give you 20. So the fact that Mikal is, even if he's not scoring like a Kawhi or something like that, just the fact that he's giving like he's just so much more confident on offense while playing obviously extremely good defense on the other side. You don't see that in the league. It's usually like if I'm going hard on defense, then I'm standing in the corner on offense and just catch and shoot threes. That's it. But his motor is good. He doesn't get tired out there. He plays the most minutes almost every single game, bro.
Yep.
And that just makes his Iron Man streak of never missing a game that much more impressive.
Mikal is, dude. It's crazy.
I just thought of this question. One second.
Oh, what's good?
If we put Mikel's skill set in the draft right now, who would you like? What would his NBA comp be? You know how like draft day they have the NBA comp.
Like you put current skill level, like
current skill level, draft. Drop him in the draft.
His comp is Kawhi.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Bro. Yeah, his comp's for sure Kawhi. Dude, Kawhi, dude, when Kawhi came into the league, he was like the same player. If you look up, I think Mikel's second year or third year stats and Kawhi's third year stats are like identical.
Identical, yeah.
So yeah, it's Kawhi for sure.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys remember the picture when Mikal got drafted. There was a blue background and it was him, Villanova jersey, and it was a mirror of Kawhi. Yeah. So I mean, there was obviously some comparisons back then, but that was more so just like, they play alike, but obviously Mikal would never be Kawhi. But now it's kind of like, yo, if Mikal was the first option on a team, like, is this dude dropping 23 a game? Like, maybe.
I mean, I really, and it's the same with Cam Johnson. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility for either of them.
We've talked about that before too.
You know what I say? You know what I say to all my friends? And again, here in San Diego, everyone being a Lakers fan, they just laugh. But what I say is, because everyone is on the boat where like, oh, the Suns have, Chris Paul and Book, and then they have such great role players surrounding them. It's a perfect team. I would like to say these great role players, quote unquote role players, are only role players because the Suns are asking this of them. If you take Ayton, Mikal, Cam Johnson, and you put them on, I don't know, like a rebuilding team like OKC or Houston, bro, those boys are, I know Ayton's averaging 25 and 15. I know Mikal's dropping 20 a game. I know Cam's dropping 20 a game. So these guys, as great role players as they are on the Suns team, these are not normal role players. These are like, these three, you could argue these three are stars, not superstars, but these three could be stars in a different market. They're just role players. The only true role player I'd say the Suns have is Jay Crowder, who's a great role player. Torrey Craig, Landry Shamet. Those are the role players. All the other guys, they're just sacrificing because they don't have an ego and they really want to win. But they're not role players. These kids are stars, and they could be stars if they played for a different team. That's what I say.
I strongly agree. I mean, if you look at Ayton and Mikal now, Ayton is, I'd say, like top 30 or so. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a top 5 center, so he has to be a top 30. And then I'd say Mikal is probably like top 50, borderline top 40 if he wins Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh,
which I think he has a shot.
Yeah, but if you tell, the casual NBA fan, they'll just be like, dude, the Suns, Mikal Bridges is such a good role player. You know, he's like a great like Trevor Ariza. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh God.
Oh
He's a
gosh,
role
If I
player.
heard that comp, I would.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, he's a role player because this kid wants to win and he's used to winning, so he knows what it takes. But you're telling me Mikal doesn't know in the back of his head that if he was playing on some Orlando or something, that he's not dropping 25 a game, getting a max contract, bro. He knows that.
You know what just occurred to me about um Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson?
Yeah.
And it was what you just said about about Mikal being used to winning. We drafted Mikal from Villanova, who had won he won like 2 national championships with them. And we drafted Cam Johnson from UNC, which is one of the most I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean. It's like one of the most prestigious basketball programs in history. Like, how did we not tell from the beginning that these kids were meant to be winners?
Bro, you saw it. So in the Knicks game, when Cam obviously was killing it, bro, there was a couple of plays that really stood out to me where he was hot. Obviously, you guys saw the whole fourth quarter knocking down shots.
I know which plays you're gonna say, I think.
So I'm not even gonna name them exactly, but just certain plays where it's time for a heat check. Like, us as fans are like, Cam, shoot the fucking ball. We want to see you shoot. And he's making the smart winning play. Like, okay, I'm gonna find someone in the corner. I'm gonna drive and make the extra pass. You don't see that, bro. You don't see, especially from a 25, 20, like players in their second, third, fourth year. You don't see that, bro. Like, Cam is a winner. And then Mikal, obviously, we don't even need to say it just based on his history in college. But like, dude, these kids are, I don't know, bro. I love this Suns team, and people who hate on them, they're just missing out. Like, even me, when I would watch the Warriors with KD and Steph and Clay. Yeah, I'm not a Warriors fan, but I would appreciate it. I'm like, bro, this is crazy, like, good basketball. People who hate on the Suns dude, like, it pisses me off, honestly. Like, you don't like basketball. If you're hating on the Suns, who drafted 90% of their team, and they play like real high IQ, like smart basketball. If you hate on that, then you're not a basketball fan, bro. Like, you don't like good basketball.
Facts.
I agree.
All right. We've pretty much moved on from tonight's game. So let's get into this Devin Booker game that I kind of wanted to talk about. So right now, I think there are 7 NBA players right now that are clear cut better than Devin Booker to me. And that's Kawhi, KD, LeBron, Embiid, Curry, Jokic, and Giannis.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Are we all in agreement there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to start listing players, and I want you guys to tell me if you think they're better or worse than Devin Booker.
Yo, for everyone listening that's not a Suns fan, this is our non-biased opinion. Okay?
Okay. And this is this season. I'm not talking about like overall skill level or anything like that. I'm talking about
things. No.
This season only. And for that reason, I'm not going to mention Paul George because he's been hurt for most of the year.
Okay.
I was curious if you were going to ask him because I feel like that would be a tough one.
And I'm not going to mention Damian Lillard.
Okay. Those two would both be tough ones. So let's that's good. Let's leave them off the fucking list.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is based off of top 50 players from before the season.
Okay.
Which had Book at 11, interestingly. But starting off, do we think Devin Booker is better or worse than Luka Doncic
this season? Better, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say yo, speaking of Book, I don't know if there's a video, if you guys are gonna post this, but he actually literally just liked my tweet right this second. I'll show you guys on the screen. Look which one it was. So
it's such a meme.
That's Book. This is D Book's likes. That's his profile, and it says it's the picture of the moment we were talking about. And I tweeted and I was like, the Lakers have not beat the Suns since this day. Laugh my ass off, and Book just liked it. Bro,
I'm gonna find this. I'm gonna verify. I'll be your fact checker.
No, please, go.
I can confirm Devin Booker.
Yeah,
that's
Book
crazy.
is fucking hilarious. But yeah, last year if you had asked me, Luka, you know, that it would be tougher. But this year, yeah, I'm taking Book 1,000,000% over Luka.
Yep.
Yeah, because Luka's having a down year this year too. like maybe not down to just the way he plays. I feel like he has to accommodate himself to his teammates. And I think that might be, I don't know if that's something in the front office, but his like it doesn't seem like his workload is as much as it was before, and I don't know if that's them trying to spread out the ball. But I know like last year, I know he's like still number 2 in usage rate or whatever, but I still feel like when I watch Dallas games, I think he's trying to play off the ball a lot more, and I don't know if that's why his like regular counting stats are down or what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Mavericks games, so I couldn't tell you. Let's see. Next on the list. And for this, just to make it a little easier, why don't we just go Brawadis, Ari, and Brandon when we answer, if that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next, let's go with Trae Young.
Oh no, I'm taking Booker, bro. There's two sides to the ball, and God forbid a non-Suns fans watching this video, and I'm claiming that Devin Booker plays defense, which he does. Trae Young
He's
plays.
averaging. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Sorry to interrupt you, but he's averaging 3 steals. Devin Booker since Chris Paul went out. So
yeah, no, I'm taking, and nothing against Trae Young. He's an offensive, like, dude, he's a beast. But you got to be able to play at least a little bit of defense. And if you watch Hawks games, Trae Young gets picked on like every single game. So no, I'm taking Book just for for that side of things. You need to play both sides of the ball.
Yep, my reasoning would be the exact same basically. He's like a super like negative on defense. It's like they have to try to hide him, but it's really not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Booker obviously he's averaging 3 steals. He had 4 today. He's always in the passing lanes. I think he's better.
Yeah, I agree. I think they covered it, but I've said this multiple times on the podcast. I get so mad when people say Devin Booker doesn't play defense, especially the last 2 seasons.
Can I say, sorry, Brandon, to interrupt you, but it's on the same topic. So Booker, obviously, when people say, oh, he plays no defense, he's a bad defender, I want to mention this. And thank you for saying, especially the last 2 seasons, because that brings me back to my point. The first couple years of Book's career, where he might have looked like, a bad defender, or even the stats would show it, a negative defender. If anyone plays basketball, if you've ever been on the court, if your team's down by 20 or 30 points, I'm sorry, but it's really hard to give max effort on defense. Mm-hmm. There's no point, dude. Defense exerts more energy than playing offense does. So no one's going to be out there when your team is winning 20 games and losing 60, down by 20 every single game, going out there playing their ass off on defense. So now that the Phoenix Suns are obviously a good team, but even when they weren't, the best, even the bubble year, that's when Book's defense really was like, yo, shit, this guy could actually defend. Like, even we didn't know that. Like, this dude's a good defender. And that comes, dude, you can't play defense when you're on a bad team. It's just not. It's unless you're like Lou Dort, who's fucking, I don't know how he does it, but like it's really hard to look at LeBron today. His team was down by 30. This dude was not even coming past the half court line 90% of the game, bro. You can't judge how good or bad a defender is when they're playing on a bad team. You can't. If you've never picked up a basketball and played, you won't get it. You think people are going to give max effort 100% of the time, but people won't do that if their team is bad. It's just, it has nothing to do with ego or like, oh, he's not a good ball. No. If your team is losing, it's really hard to lock into the game. And the Suns were very, very bad for Book's first however many years in the league. Bad.
Especially when you have to have such a high workload on offense.
Dude,
it's really he was hard playing to give effort on defense.
Yeah, exactly. He was playing point when his role, his whole life was a 2 guard. And then you expect him to go, dude, it's people. Book is definitely I don't know. He's held on a higher pedestal just because people were so wrong about him early in his career. So now they'll try to say this and that just to like kind of not admit that they were wrong.
Yep.
All right. I'm actually the next player on the list I'm going to say for last because I think that would be a good discussion. So let's go. Bradley Beal, kind of the same deal as Trae Young.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler.
This season, right?
Yeah, just this season.
This season, I'm taking Devin Booker over Jimmy Butler. I mean, this is the way I'm thinking about it every time you name a player. If certain somebody, whoever you name, was in Devin Booker's spot for these 68 games, are the Suns 54-14? Jimmy Butler, no. Trae Young, no. So no, I don't.
Okay.
Devin Booker's
I'm glad I know your thought process now because now I have a great one.
okay.
I have a
Nice.
couple good ones, I think. So
Okay.
let's start with Jason Tatum.
Dude, I love Tatum. Like I'm
I
a
do
Tatum.
too. He's a future son.
I hope so. He should have been a son.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like Tatum, but I just don't see as of right now him being better than Devin Booker. Will will he in the future? I mean, me personally, I don't think he will be better than Devin Booker. But there's one name where I'd say if someone says Tatum is better than Booker, it doesn't really like get me as mad as if someone were to say like Donovan Mitchell or someone like that. Because Tatum's a hooper. And do I think the Suns would have the same record if they replaced Booker with Tatum? I'd say we'd have slightly less wins, but it wouldn't make like I think I'd say Tatum and Booker are in the same tier, but Booker is higher up, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For me, yeah, probably the same thing. Maybe Booker's a little bit higher, or I would say they're even equal. Honestly, Tatum is a little bit better defender, but Booker's playmaking kind of like it's really really good.
I'd say Tatum. Well, I guess I don't know if I'd say he's a better scorer than Book because Book is like a supernatural scorer, and Tatum. I guess I need to watch more Tatum because I don't know. Is he like a naturally gifted scorer the same way Book is, or is he kind of more of a spot up? Like, does he stand still when he shoots, or can he like move around and?
No, he hit some crazy shots.
Yeah, he
Really?
he,
So,
he's
okay.
gifted.
But I think I like where him and Book are similar is that they could both work out of the post. Like Tatum works a lot in that like post mid range area. Now, Tatum and Book are very close. I'm just taking Book by a small margin, but yeah, Tatum's. I don't know. Tatum's a beast.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna.
Let's.
You're
what's
not
up?
gonna let me get my answer, man. What the? What
Oh
the
yeah, my bad.
I'm gonna take Book by a small margin too, and I think that part of my reason is gonna be because I think that Tatum is a little bit more gifted of a scorer, but I think that that has a lot to do with his size compared to Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Because he's just it's kind of I don't want to say like KD-esque, but he's taller than a lot of his defenders that he's playing with, and he does lean back a little bit sometimes when he shoots, kind of like how KD does. And I think that he's kind of perfected like the mid-range game, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm still taking Book based on I think that due to his size and the matchups that he creates with himself, I think D-Book can score on 1 through 5 with ease at his size, and I think that's more impressive. So that's why I'm going to take Book. And I don't think the defense is that much of a difference to sway my answer.
One last thing that I think Booker is why I put him higher than Tatum, and honestly, a reason why I would put Book higher than a lot of other players that some dudes might not, is like I mentioned, some things you can't teach. Book just has that like that dog. Like you guys see him when he's playing on the road, he's John with fans sitting courtside. Like he has something you can't teach where he's gonna dog you. And I don't know if like certain players have that, you know what I mean? Jimmy Butler has it. Obviously LeBron, like, but that's just something that I like about Book that you can't teach, bro. You either have it or you don't. And Book definitely has it. Like he's not scared of anyone who guards him, whether it's Kawhi or it does not matter who. Like he's gonna go at you no matter what, and he's gonna talk to you too. Like he's gonna let you know. And that actually, like, dude, there's again, if you play basketball, like if there's someone that's scoring on you and just kind of quietly running back on, like they score on you and they run back in your head, you're like, okay, I could stop them this upcoming play. But if someone's scoring on you and he's up in your face and he's talking shit and he's right up in your ear, it puts a little bit of fear. Like you're like, yo, shit, like this guy's cooking us. Like it changes the game. Like Book knows what he's doing, bro. That's what I like about Book, and why I separate him from some players that other people might not.
Yeah, definitely. For the sake of keeping things kind of concise, we're gonna move on. My next I was gonna ask about Chris Paul, but I mean, obviously, if the Suns just have two Chris Pauls, they're not as good. So, um, so that's really it.
Don't do that, bro. Don't do that.
I thought you were gonna ask Zach LaVine.
Not because that's obvious.
Yeah.
To us.
To us, I had a Bulls fan, like a month ago. He was trying to tell me that Zach LaVine was a better defender than Devin Booker.
Oh Lord.
And it made me so mad. And I'm from Chicago, so I think I have like the same thing that you have with Lakers fans, that you hate the Lakers so much. Because I hate the Bulls so much.
That's crazy.
Just because of everyone who I'm around, and it just gets so annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm also from Chicago, so like all my friends are Bulls fans. They try to just tell you anything like, "Oh, Vucevic better than Ayton."
Oh yeah, I've heard that so many times.
Say all that stuff.
That's dude. No, LaVine is, and I like LaVine too. Like I like him like Tatum, but it's just he's not better than Book. I don't know, like it's just no, he's not better than Book.
These last 2 years, that conversation has gone out the window.
Yeah.
Well, again, like I said, to us, but I'm if you ask not even people in Chicago, if you just ask people around the world, I'm sure I'd say like 70 to 75% of people would say LaVine, which is crazy, but whatever, bro.
He's loved more by the media because he does cool dunks. So it's more out there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, unless you guys want to talk about Paul George at all, do we want to get into it? That's a lengthy conversation.
Hey, Paul George is my guy, so let's leave that one off the list.
All right. So we covered the game. I mean, there wasn't much to mention from the game. So let's get into some follower questions here. So the first question, let me get the tweet pulled up here because for some reason I'm blanking on what the questions were. Just a sec. All right. First question, and we'll go. We kind of just talked about the first question, which was favorite player not on the Suns. So we kind of already. I mean, is yours Tatum for Wattis?
No.
No. All right. So yeah, favorite player not on the Suns.
Okay, so I kind of have two, but I'll explain myself. So my favorite player not on the Suns is LeBron. But after he signed with the Lakers, like, dude, before LeBron on the Lakers, I used to stick up. Dude, I remember, like, I used to get as a Suns fan, I used to get in arguments with people like, bro, LeBron's the greatest. Like, when he would be playing the Warriors in the finals, I'd be cheering for the Cavs and LeBron, like, as hard as I'm, like, rooting for the Suns right now. Like, I used to love LeBron, but it's just something about wearing that yellow and fucking purple that I just cannot, like, I can't. So, but LeBron, I love LeBron. And then the reason I love LeBron is, bro, that type of pressure, like coming out of high school, the fact that he not only lived up to it, but crushed everything is like, that's just not normal for a 17, 18-year-old kid. Like, that's actually not normal. But him, and then I'd say this one, I don't know how Suns fans are going to take it, but I love Luka, bro. Like, Luka, I'd say right now, put LeBron, he's on the Lakers, so I can't really like a Lakers player. Luka Doncic, dude, I love the way he plays. Not necessarily like, I love his swag on the court, I should say. Mm-hmm. He's so swaggy, like, I don't know. And the fact that he's obviously, like, he doesn't look like a basketball player. He's like a chunky, like, like, he doesn't look like a basketball player. So the fact that he goes out there and he kills your favorite player, like, night in and night out, I don't know. I love Luka, but I know Suns fans, some Suns fans don't rock with Luka, so I know it might be tough to hear, but I love Luka Doncic, bro. I love watching him play.
Yeah. My favorite player not on the Suns, it's kind of like random, but it's Karis LeVert. I love Karis LeVert for some reason.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, that's a random.
He missed the shot. He missed the shot to send it to the playoffs.
I love his game. But also in that same game, he like put his heart and soul out there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He had like 42. I really like him. And then I go to school in Indiana, so he was playing in Indiana. I watched him play live a couple times. It was really cool. And then I bought his jersey on clearance after he got traded.
Yeah, that's funny.
I kind of have two as well. I think this one is gonna piss Suns fans off too.
Oh boy.
James Harden.
No comment.
No. And I've loved James Harden for so long, just because I've had this debate with so many people. I remember being on the bus at school talking about this. He is probably, besides Kevin Durant, like one of the most gifted players, like scorers that like we will see in our generation. And I think that the whole free throw thing, it's part of the game, and him being able to do it makes him that much better.
Honestly, the free throw thing is a meme, bro. People just run with it like it's it's
right.
just
like if I was in the NBA, if I could fucking get a free throw every time I'm driving to the hole, I would do the same thing. I don't blame
if Harden
him.
was on the Suns doing that, we would not be.
Oh yeah. So yeah, James Harden is definitely probably my favorite player, and I'm also gonna say Jokic, just because what he does is so gifted. Even though we Suns fans also have some bad blood with him, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's so gifted to be at his size and do what he does. And like to think he was like the 44th pick in the draft.
Round, second
Yeah,
round.
that's crazy.
And he had a huge leap. So I love watching him play too.
Yo, can I just mention my real favorite non-Suns player, but I wasn't sure if this counted because, well, you guys tell me if it counts. But fucking Ricky Rubio, I love that guy.
Yeah, that definitely counts. We love Rubio.
Bro, I love Ricky Rubio. Dude, if he people, okay, and I'm not throwing any shade at any player, but when people bring up, dudes who changed the culture in Phoenix, obviously there's Monty Williams, there's James Jones, and then people like to throw in Kelly Oubre. Dude, Ricky Rubio, dude, he changed the culture just as much. Like, bro, dude, I love Ricky Rubio. I was so pissed when he got hurt earlier this year. I was like, bro, he was gonna play on like a meaningful playoff minutes on a good team. Like, yeah, dude, that shit was sad. But I love Ricky Rubio, bro. We already have obviously Chris Paul, Cameron Payne, Aaron Holiday, but yeah, I don't know. If he somehow ended up back on the Suns, that would be crazy because he loves it here.
Yep. And he was having a great year actually before he got hurt.
I know, bro. That dude.
Yeah, I remember when we first signed him, I thought he was going to be the point guard to take us not to the finals, but our first playoff berth in a while.
He almost did.
He almost did. Yeah.
Well, it would have happened. Let's be real, but that season was obviously injuries and suspensions, and we would have made the playoffs obviously if it wasn't for
But I remember when we first signed him, I was so excited because I was like, we finally got a point guard.
Yeah.
So
I remember that at the time, half the people wanted D'Angelo Russell, and half the people wanted Kelly Oubre, and so everyone was all like freaking out. I was happy with it though.
Yeah, I think Brandon, to go back to what you were saying about Harden, I'm not myself a big Harden fan, to be honest, and quick flex, I went to Harden's camp in Arizona one time, and he hopped in my pickup game, and I hooped with James Harden one time.
Oh, that's
so.
How is he not your favorite player now?
That's exactly like I made a picture with him. Like he threw a pass. Like I got an assist from him in the game. Like he should be my favorite player by all means, but I just don't fuck with his game for some reason. I don't know, man.
I can't lie though. His Rockets his 2 years where he averaged 30, like over 30, they were really fun to watch.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, when he had like 50-point triple doubles and like
one was against the Knicks. I remember it was a crazy stat line, bro.
Yeah, I can't tell you it off the top of my head, but like it was insane. All right, let's get to the next follow-up question. That was here's a good one. I think you guys know what it is already. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of Suns players?
Okay, wait. I'm kind of dumb. There's 4 people on the Mount Rushmore, right?
Yeah, there's 4.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
I'd say so if you're a little bit older than me watching or listening to this podcast, then my answer is are obviously going to differ from yours because I didn't watch like the Charles Barkley. I didn't watch Dan Marley, KJ. Obviously, I know their impact on the Phoenix Suns, in the history of the Suns. But me, myself, I'm not going to put them on a Mount Rushmore, even though I know how good they were, but I just never got to watch them play. So my Mount Rushmore, I'm 26 years old, so it might be a little bit different than your guys's, but definitely throwing Book on there. We all love Book. Every Suns fan loves Book. So Devin Booker, you got to throw Steve Nash. And then you have my favorite player growing up, Amari Stoudemire. I'm throwing Amari on there. And then this last one, dude, I mean, I think I would probably put Chris Paul. It's a little crazy to say because there's players who have played on the Suns a lot longer than he has in a year and a half when this podcast is being recorded, almost 2 years. But just what he's accomplished. And I know the haters, but there's no ring to it. The regular season wins don't matter. Where's the ring to show for it? Dude, you guys know his dude, our win total and just the culture of our team would not be where it was if we never traded for Chris Paul, the winning mentality and everything like that. So I think, again, like I said, I became a Suns fan at the like Sean Marion, Amari Stoudemire, Steve Nash. So just based on from that time till now, I'm going Book, CP, Steve Nash, and Amari Stoudemire. That's my 4.
Yeah, I like this. Sorry, Aaron. I like this trend of like doing it from just like when we were watching the Suns. I kind of like that idea. So I'm
we could easily say like, oh, Charles Barkley, he won this, and that, and he got us to the finals, but we didn't really we weren't a part of that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, I like that idea. So yeah. I'm gonna stick to that.
Okay.
I became a Suns fan in 2016, I think. So I'm gonna just go based since then.
Oh, so we're gonna have a Mikal Bridges, I feel like, on this
list. He's not on mine personally.
Okay.
But I mean the first two have to be Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Obviously. I mean, like this is my like Suns fan era. This is what I'm gonna remember. Like we're never gonna see a better Suns team than this.
Yeah.
So it has to be Devin Booker and Chris Paul. My third player on the Mount Rushmore, I think, is gonna be Kelly Oubre.
Oh wow!
Because Kelly Oubre is the reason. I mean, he's the reason we have the Valley jerseys for one thing.
Yeah.
Which the Valley jersey to me is such a it's an underrated part of how like the Suns culture has improved. And like it's underrated how important the jersey was. Because if the jersey was ass, dude, like nobody would buy the jersey. Nobody would care. Like we wouldn't look nice on the court.
Just like the Cardinals.
Yeah, it would just look. It just wouldn't be as fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very underrated part, and we have it because of Kelly Oubre.
Yeah, facts.
And then probably fourth player. That's a tough one. It's between like Rubio, like you were saying. I really want to put Ayton. I'm gonna say DeAndre Ayton as the fourth.
How old are you, bro?
I'm 19. No, I'm 19.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
the older crowd's gonna kill you for that Mount Rushmore.
No,
bro.
but hear me out. Hear me out about Ayton anyway.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton is already the best center in Suns history.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's not close.
Someone from way back then. I'd agree.
Like Barkley was a power forward. Stoudemire was a power forward. Like, and those Nash teams never had like a great 5.
Yeah, no, never.
So, I mean, Ayton is already like probably the best center in Suns history. He will be if we win the championship this year. So, I don't know. And I really like Ayton. I know there's a lot of people that don't like him. Yeah, I really like him, but I think he's if he we talked about this before, if he leaves the team, we're screwed.
Yeah,
so
no.
I think he's that important that he deserves to be on a very recent Suns Mount Rushmore.
No, I'd agree. I don't like when people hate on Ayton because of their reasoning. That's why. If you like or dislike a player, that's fine. Everyone has their own opinions, but some of the reasons that people throw out there, I don't like. Dude, Aiden's a good player. He's very, very, very efficient, especially for someone who not all of his shots are dunks. I mean, we know Aiden doesn't even really like to dunk the ball. He's very finesse. Like he'll do a hook shot, little floater, mid-range game, obviously.
Mhm.
So the fact that he shoots over 60% is, dude, Aiden's a beast, bro. He's underrated.
Yep.
Definitely.
For me, I'm also 18. I'm 18, so I would say yeah, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. I really liked watching Goran Dragic.
I loved Goran.
That's a good
bro.
one. That's a good
I
one.
He was.
love
I'm debating between 2 point guards because I'm not having CP on mine, and he is one of them.
Yeah.
So I'll go with the other one.
Wow. Dragic over CP? Okay, let's hear it.
Well,
let's hear
just
it.
for the time frame of how because I've been watching
Okay.
the Suns since I was young.
Okay,
So-
okay.
I would say last. This is tough.
When did you become a Suns fan?
Me,
Yeah.
like 2012, 2013.
So just go based off players since then.
Oh shit. So you could throw like a Louis Scola or Gortat in that shit.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Alex,
Don't do that. Alex Lamb, bro.
Alex Len, yeah.
I don't even know. I would probably say DeAndre Ayton as well. I know it's like a young answer, but that's all I've witnessed.
So, like we've said on the pod before, we've told how we became Suns fans, and I was kind of born into it. So I have a lot of memories of like just sitting on the couch watching games with my dad. But so I'm gonna start with who I said I had 2 point guards over CP, and they're semi-recent ones, but
Not Bledsoe.
it was Bledsoe.
Oh,
But
no.
let me tell you why. Because I'm not going based on ability or best player. I'm going off of memories, like my fondest memories.
That's different.
Oh, so that's not what we were doing? I thought that okay, if we're going best players.
I don't know what
when I made mine, I was basing it off like how what they did for the franchise.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, well then my answer would be completely different. But I was going it off of like my memories and like growing up, like watching these players play, like while I was like really starting to understand basketball.
No, I got you.
So I was gonna go Eric Bledsoe, and because I'm picking Bledsoe, well, he took Dragic from me, so there's part of it, but I always remember those Suns days where I would get home from school. I would literally look up Eric Bledsoe highlights on YouTube.
You were down bad.
Well, that's all I had. That's all I had to look forward to at the time.
I love Bled, bro.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Eric Bledsoe. You have to throw Devin Booker in there, especially if you're around our age.
He's already a top 3 Sun ever.
Shit, he's on the Suns Mount Rushmore regardless of age. I think at this point.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Amari Stoudemire.
Yes.
Later in his career. And the fourth one, I don't know why the fourth one has kind of been hard for all of us, because I had those 3 players, and then the fourth one is probably the hardest.
You got to really narrow it down.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of different people to choose from. You kind of swayed my answer a little bit, Isaac, with the Kelly Oubre pick because of the jerseys, because I forgot that that's the reason we have the Valley jerseys. And I think that's such a big part. And that's probably one of my favorite jerseys of all time. Like the design of it.
No, for sure. I literally
jerseys.
This is the only jersey I've ever owned other than like a Seahawks jersey, because I mean I have several players and they all like wear the same. This is the only jersey I've ever had 2 of in my life. Player? Not the same player. This one, okay. I'm wearing the Mikal one.
Okay.
I have a Mikal Valley jersey.
I got the Mikal.
No, yeah, I had you know those like jersey accounts on Twitter. They do like if you get like this many retweets in 48 hours. I actually won one of those.
No
way. Yeah, I got the Mikal Valley jersey for free.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
I bought mine the first day at the Valley jerseys released. I dropped a lot of money. My mom was pissed, but I was like,
who do you have, Arian?
Mikal Bridges.
You got Dude,
Yeah.
I need a Mikhail jersey. I
All
need
right.
that.
Well, now I'm going to get my fucking jersey. 1 second. 1 second. 'Cause I'm
And
gonna-
I have
Oh,
a
he's actually going to get it too.
Dude, if he pulls out a Mikhail one, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I
I have a
actually have
jersey
2
problem.
Mikhail jerseys.
No way,
I have a purple one also.
dude. That
I have a Valley D Book jersey. I have. Do you remember the old black and orange jerseys from like 2017?
yeah, I have a D book one. It says
Yeah, I have that
PHX.
one.
PHX.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I have a Javel one right now actually.
How? Who? What?
My parents got it for me for Christmas. I was like, I think I went to with my dad to a preseason game, and he
Yeah.
saw Javel, and he loved Javel the first time he saw him because he's like an idiot. So, and I told him like as a joke, I want a Javel McGee jersey,
Oh my
but I think
gosh.
I think they took it serious. But it's fine. It's a dope jersey. It's in the
So-
orange one, so it's sick.
Hell yeah.
I have
Yo,
like a
Brandon, you got
jersey.
campaign?
Yeah, I got the campaign jersey on right now.
Damn,
I was debating between that and the Team USA Booker one.
that's fire.
But I'll rock campaign for tonight. I have a Valley Booker one too, but it's in the other room and my girlfriend's sleeping. So if I wake her up, she'll be pissed. So not gonna do that.
Not gonna lie, I ordered a Cam Johnson jersey that night they hit a game.
I did too. I did too.
Bro, I need that, bro.
No, because I saw your video where you got all the jerseys out of your attic. I
Dude,
was-
how many started my bro? I used to
Yeah.
Yeah,
love
you had like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I was like, that's like me. I'm just buying like whatever I can get my hands on.
yeah, yeah, bro.
Because these are gonna be good memories in
Yeah.
15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Look back on this.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Aryan, I know you had some questions picked out for our special guest here, so why don't you ask him some of those questions?
Okay. So the first one was, I know this is gonna be a little tough to talk about. What was the experience like being at Game 6 of the finals?
Bro, oh my God. So I'd say being 26 years old, obviously I haven't, maybe experienced a lot of things in life that, a lot of older people have, but that was hands down the worst day of my life. Bro, could you imagine being in the arena and like all the confetti falling, like the confetti falling on my head? It felt like knives.
Aw.
Felt like
Oh.
knives in my skull. And then like all the fans, because obviously, bro, like I was talking my shit throughout the game. So imagine then the Suns lose and all the fans, on top of how we feel already as diehard Suns fans, imagine in that atmosphere, all the Bucks fans are just like, they're flipping you off, they're cussing at you, and like, what are you really gonna say? I mean, your team lost. So it's kind of like you just low-key have to take it. Not to mention it's 1 against 20,000. So like, bro, and then just seeing Giannis holding up like the trophy, because I stayed and watched. I was like the Stephon Diggs in the Bucks arena. I stayed and watched that shit.
I would stay too, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's
Needless to say, like, bro, I was crying. Like, I don't care. I have no shame admitting it.
Oh yeah,
bro.
we've said that on the pod.
Yo,
I've said a few
yeah.
times about that.
Dude, I teared up, and even like the next day on my flight, bro, like I was fucking just like, dude, there's no way. So that was definitely the worst day of my life. And if you're not a sports fan, you're probably gonna be like, wow, what an easy life this guy has. That's the worst day. But you guys understand,
No,
like,
we're so invested.
dude, we're so invested in like the emotions, and that was I haven't, sometimes I rewatch my old YouTube videos just for fun. That video I will never I don't ever want to watch that video. I will never rewatch that video of game 6 against the Bucks, bro. That was fucking terrible.
Yeah,
just
I'm gonna touch on that for a second because I know how that feels. Because since I'm from Illinois, I can walk across to the Wisconsin border. That's how close I am. I'm like right on the tip, so I'm like right by Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So I would say in my town there's more Bucks fans than Bulls fans.
Okay.
And it was ridiculous. Like my Facebook, I probably got tagged in like 20 things
Oh my God.
about this. So it was like just keep every notification I got. It was, oh, Suns lost. Like everyone was just reaming on me about that. I will
Bro,
never. I don't think I'll ever forget that day in my life.
Yeah, no, I'm like walking down the street trying to get in an Uber, and there's obviously like a million fucking people, because you remember the what do you call it, the
Deer
Deer district? Yeah, like imagine it's all there and like everyone's going crazy and I'm trying to find my Uber and I'm not taking my son's jersey off. I didn't give a fuck. So everyone's just going crazy. Everyone's drunk. Fuck you, go back home. All this shit and like,
You
dude, that
can't
was
say nothing.
you can't say anything. I mean, yeah, you can't say shit, bro. Like, yeah, it was a terrible day, but it's all good because we're about 2 months away from. I'm not gonna jinx it, but you guys all know what we're about 2 to 3 months away from this year, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
I actually have a similar story because I went to game 4. I drove down to game 4 with my friend.
Oh,
And
dude, that was our game.
yeah, I know. Because like
God.
we were talking our shit the whole time because Booker was just going crazy. That was like one of his best games
Yeah.
as a one. He had like 40, and then the last second Chris Paul slips, so
Oh,
that yeah, and then so we're leaving the stadium. People are like recording us. People are taking videos of us. They're tugging at the jersey. They're
me
flipping
too.
us
Yeah,
off.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
pissing me off. They're
yeah,
literally tugging at the jersey. I'm like, bro,
yeah,
don't fucking touch me.
yeah. And then we had to walk through the deer district and the walk like a block to the car. It was awful.
Yeah, bro.
Well, I had a completely different finals experience. I went to game two, or game no, I went to game two where we won. So I didn't have quite the same experience as you guys, but yeah, that sounds awful, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I was at game one, so I got the best of both worlds. Like
Yeah,
I
true,
felt
true.
I felt like I felt the fucking like, am I really here in a Phoenix Suns final? Like I just never thought that day would come where I'd be sitting in the stands of an NBA Finals game, let alone the Phoenix Suns. Like it was crazy all the way to Game 6 in Milwaukee. So I went through it all. So and I'm from San Diego, so I'm traveling all over the fucking country for like witnessing this loss. I've never been to Wisconsin, dude. I've never been to the what would you is Wisconsin the Midwest? Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. I've never been like I don't like yeah, I leave San Diego to go to like Arizona, Vegas. I don't travel up there. So I'm like in uncharted territory. I'm looking around. I'm like, dude, where am I? Like this shit's crazy. And on top of it, the Phoenix Suns lose. It was just it was bad. It was bad, bro.
Yeah. So the next question we have is, so how did you feel meeting Devin Booker and like the other Suns players for the first time? Because I know that was probably a crazy
Bro,
experience.
for the first time, oh my God. I
For
was
for the first time.
for the first time, bro, I'm trying to remember it. It was like it was crazy. I was, dude, my armpits were sweating like, bro.
Was that the time you came for your birthday? Because I remember a YouTube video about that. Was that the
No,
first time?
no, no, no. This is where
Paintball,
Eric
right?
Bledsoe.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and I love Eric Bledsoe for this, bro. I'll never forget someone doing this for me when like, dude, I had just started YouTube. I didn't have followers like that. Like I had no clout or anything. So like Bledsoe was doing this just he had nothing to benefit from it. But the team was coming to San Diego. Remember when they used to come? I don't know if you guys know this, but they would come to San Diego like every off season. So they came to San Diego and Eric Bledsoe, bro, he had just recently followed me on Twitter and he went out of his way and he DM'd me privately and he was like, yo, the team's coming to San Diego this day and this date, come through. Dude, I literally like I don't know. I did not know what to even think of that moment. It was right after we drafted Book. Never played a game for us yet. Um, and like, bro, so then I drove down. They were going paintballing, and then I went and I met Book, I met Bledsoe, I met Tyler Eulis, and then that was the first time I met them, bro. Yeah, that shit, that was dude. Imagine all the times I've seen these dudes on TV and like I don't know, bro. It was insane. And then yeah, ever since then, obviously, like Book has been to my house a bunch of times. I've been to Book's house. Like, dude, it's Book is a dude, he's a dope ass dude for real. And then Bledsoe, dude, I still talk to Bledsoe because honestly, if it wasn't for him, like I would have never maybe eventually in the future I would have got, you know, popular enough to meet some of the Suns players, but Bledsoe was literally the reason that that even happened. And then when I would go to Suns games, I would go in the back with Bledsoe, and he had his kids and his girl at the time. Um, so I would be with Bledsoe a lot, bro. I'll never forget someone doing that for me when, especially when like I didn't have no like followers, like he had no benefit from it. So I would never forget, dude. He's a real one, a real one.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last question we have is more of a fun one. If you could have dinner with 3 Suns players, past or present, who would they be?
Like I'm completely like I'm not trying to flex at all. I've already like hung out with a lot of the guys currently on the team, so I'm gonna definitely go more in the past.
Yeah.
I would say Amari Stoudemire for sure. I want to say Steve Nash. And then lastly, the person from this current team that I have not hung out with is Chris Paul. So I think Chris Paul, Amari, and Steve Nash. But if you put who I've already met to the side, Aiton and Mikhail are the 2 funniest. Like, dude, I would definitely.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aiton and Mikhail, like the whole concert shit that they do now, like this new thing, dude. They're hilarious. Like they've always been like that. They're funny as shit. So definitely those 2, and then probably Book.
You put those 2 in campaign in a room together, and
oh my
I guarantee you're laughing the whole night.
yeah, exactly. Yup.
And JaVale too.
JaVale. Yeah. Both team. I love it, bro.
Yeah.
I would love to hear the basketball conversation between Steve Nash and Chris Paul.
Oh my God. I feel like in a way, like it would start off friendly and then they kind of like, well, did you know this? Like it would just slightly like competitive. Like obviously I feel like Chris Paul would start the kind of the, taking a little shot. It's like, oh
yeah, he'd say some out of pocket shit. And then
Yep, 100%, bro. He's a basketball sicko, right?
Yeah. All right. I think that's all the questions we had. And I mean, do we want to try and talk about the game anymore? We're kind of way past that.
I have one thing I want to say.
All right.
Congrats to LeBron, man. 10,000 assists. I don't think we didn't talk about that, but that is insane.
Come on, man. It's the Phoenix Suns pod.
I'm still gonna give my flowers to LeBron.
He's the 2nd greatest player of all time, for sure.
What?
He's number 1 in my eyes, I'll tell you that.
We don't have time to get into a GOAT debate here, fellas. But if we've covered the game, we got some follower questions. I mean, is there anything else you guys wanted to touch on before we wrap it up?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to the We Know Ball podcast. Thank you again so much to Brawadis for joining the show. We greatly appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me. And like I said, this is it's gonna be the biggest Suns pod in the world. So this is just the start.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you again for listening to the We Know Ball podcast, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.